G'day everyone, it's Jerry here. I'm just at one of the entrance roads to the city of Port Pirie, and today I want to make a little video tour of the city and show some of the highlights. So let's go and do it. Okay, so I'm just going to drive into the city of Port Pirie now and show a few things. So let's go and do it. I think there's much to be said about living in the city of Port Pirie, and it is a city because it's not just a small group of houses out in the middle of nowhere with a post office and a pub. Port Pirie is home to around 15,000 people. There are many businesses, sporting facilities, sporting clubs, and other recreational facilities. And there is, of course, a major employer, the Port Pirie smelter. And I think there has been a bad reputation regarding Port Pirie over the years, which is highly unwarranted. Sure, there has been undeniably a lot of pollution issues regarding the smelters, but at the same time, not everyone wants to live in a big city, and Port Pirie, I believe, offers a good place to live, to bring up young children. It's not a very busy place. It takes merely minutes to get from one spot to the other. You don't have to drive very far. Everything's within almost walking distance. So I think a lot of the reputation over the years is highly unjustified. So we'll leave it at that, and we'll go and look in the actual city itself. Okay, I'm just coming up to the city of Port Pirie now, pretty much the main entrance road. Got the Sportsman's Tavern, or the Sporties Tavern on the left there. So I'll first drive down the Solomontown Beach just to have a look at that. Here we have the Solomontown Beach. It's changed quite considerably over the years, and it's now quite pleasant. It's a good place to come and have a barbecue and even go for a swim. Some good amenities here, shelters and barbecues. Just in the distance, we've got the Bridge to Nowhere. We'll go and drive over that in a minute. Got the view of the beach in the distance. So that's the beach. Looks quite good. Certainly has improved over the years. So we'll go for a drive down the main street now. We could do what's considered by locals as the mainie, which is basically doing a lap of the main road. But we'll have a look at some other things on the way. Yeah, a number of businesses have shut up over the years here, which is quite sad, but at the same time there's quite a few new businesses, perhaps more applicable to the modern era. So you've got a mix of things going on in Port Pirie. So now we're coming up to the, so now we're just at the bridge to nowhere. I wonder if these stoplights will actually be working. Yes, they are. Gee, the tide's very low at the moment. This is called the Bridge to Nowhere, as many locals would already know, because it essentially goes to nowhere. It's just vacant land over the other side of the bridge. And in the past there was talk about building, I guess, some industrial buildings over here, but I think because of the pollution from the smelters, it was binned in the end. Just wasn't viable or safe, I guess. So now pretty much the only thing that's over here is there is a boat ramp and there is a small jetty, and it's all scrubland, but we'll go and have a look anyway. Got a close-up shot of the smelters here, which has also changed quite considerably over the years. So just here you've got the boat ramp. Yeah, the tide is extremely low today. And so on the left there, straight ahead now, there is the little jetty for, I guess you could go fishing off there, and as you can quite clearly see, it's very low tide. And of course over the other side, away from the beach or the shore, is, as you can see, it's all scrubland. So anyway, we'll go and have a look at some other features of the city of Port Pirie now. And in the very distant background, you can see the Flinders Ranges. One day I hope to do a video of going up there. There's the beach in the distance, which has also changed quite considerably over the years. The jetty used to be an actual T jetty in the shape of a T, and over the years that's also changed. So we'll go back over the bridge to nowhere again, back into the city. Unbelievable how low tide it is today. In here we've got the local Port Pirie boat ramp, which has been updated quite a bit. We have the silos in the distance there. So anyway, I'll go and do a lap of the main road now. So we'll do a mainie, although we've already gone through the beach, which is often considered part of the mainie. But we'll go through the rest of the main road as well. Have a look around. It's now a new museum, although that's been there for a little while, at the boat ramp. One thing you notice in Port Pirie when you enter the place is traffic is very calm and slow. And I sometimes used to think that that was a really bad thing. But then when you go somewhere like Adelaide, where people are driving around like raging idiots, and you return to Port Pirie, it is so relaxing. There's no... there's hardly any people that go around speeding. Of course you get the odd one, but in general the traffic is very calm and, it's almost enjoyable to drive around. There's hardly any congestion like in big cities. There's hardly any stoplights. As far as stoplights go, you've got the set of stoplights on the bridge to nowhere, and there's another set on the main road, which we'll see shortly, and that's it. Up here you've got the local police station and McDonald's, Subway, Domino's. I love these old buildings on the main street. Luckily some of them are still remaining. Many of them over the years have been demolished in place for new buildings. But it's great to see that there still remains some of the history of this city. Beautiful old buildings. There's another close-up shot of the Port Pirie smelter. Just here we've got the old railway museum, because railways did used to go down the main street. The post office. Just drive down Alexander Street, which is like a little mall nowadays. This street here has changed so many times over the years. Got the old Central Hotel that was demolished, and now you've got this new building. Got the old BH, which I don't think operates nowadays. I think that's closed up. Straight up ahead, you've got the Federal Hotel that the new owners in recent times have really started improving the whole building, because over the years I guess it was starting to get a little bit run down, a bit rough around the edges, and as you can see they've really improved the facade of it, even fixing up some of the top, well, the second story veranda now by the look of it. So that's coming along nicely. If you go in the Federal Hotel now, it is completely different. It is so flash inside, but it still has that rustic nature. They've done a really good job of improving it. So now up ahead, I'm going to show you perhaps the least desirable part of Port Pirie. Over the years, of course, because of the pollution of the smelters, many of the houses at the northern end of Port Pirie have been demolished, decommissioned, because of the high lead levels. You can see here there's still quite a few homes, but further up in a minute it's a very different story. It's like a completely different world up here now. So we're on the terrace and we're tracking north past Federation Road. Frederick Road, as many locals would know, is basically the end of the housing area because everything north has been demolished. You've got this house here that remains. I don't know why that's there, but so we'll keep going and I'll show you what it's like here now. On the left here you've got Evelyn Street, and the place is like a different world up this end of the city. It's the least desirable part of Port Pirie now, but no one lives here, so we'll go and have a look. At the end of the terrace you've got the old Porperi uranium plant, so we'll have a look at that. It's no longer in operations, of course. It finished many years ago. Maybe some people weren't even aware that there was a uranium plant at the end of this part of Port Pirie. As you can see, all the bushes and trees and everything are overgrown, and yeah. So here we have it. Port Pirie, former uranium and rare earth treatment plant. I remember there used to be a big water tower in there. That's also gone. But yeah, very different world at this end of the city. But it had to be included in the footage because it's part of history. So we'll go and look at some of the nearby streets now. I think some people that may have lived here once and have since moved away from Port Pirie might be in for a little bit of a shock at just how bad the streets are. But as I said, no one lives here anymore, so it's only natural that it would end up being derelict. Just here on the right we've got Duffy Lane. Which is actually not in bad condition. Obviously some people come to this area of Port Pirie to do burnouts and stuff like that, or dump their rubbish. It's quite sad that this part of the city had to be all demolished, but I guess the pollution and people's health is of utmost priority. And this road here is absolutely destroyed. There's hardly anything left of it. You just about need a four-wheel drive to get through this street. Joking, of course, but yeah, there's hardly anything left of it. And this street here, I'm not even sure what one it is because the sign's been ripped down. Of course, any of the remaining houses that are left here certainly aren't tenanted, and they're often boarded up, or like this house on the right here has been gutted. Probably people chasing valuable materials like copper, that sort of thing. But as you can see, it's completely gutted and smashed up with some obscene writing. Vera Street we're on at the moment. Looks like someone still lives in that house. There's a light on. But anyway, that's probably the worst part of Port Pirie these days. So we'll go and have a look at some other things. Good old Mansom Street. Up here on the right we've got the old Tennyson playground. Which hasn't really changed a hell of a lot over the years. And my old home address, Pavlet Street. On the corner of Pavlet Street, of course, is the old fish and chip shop, which is now completely derelict, fenced off, as it's been all smashed up, which is quite sad. We'll turn around and we'll have a better look at that. So as you can see, it's quite smashed up. On the left, we've got the Port Pirie Hospital. Perhaps one of the most pleasant parts of Port Pirie is the Memorial Park. In the whole time that I lived here and returned to Port Pirie, it's always been well maintained. One place that has really changed quite significantly is the Memorial Oval Sporting Complex. Look at it, it is totally different nowadays. Not only has the old grandstand remained in place, because I think it's a heritage listed type thing, but there is now a massive sporting building. And the whole oval has been totally rejuvenated. I'll drive around the other way so you can see. But I think they've done a really good job rejuvenating the oval. It is so good now, and there's even AFL matches played here nowadays, so it's really good. Some people playing cricket at the moment. Port Pirie West Primary School. It's like a lot of money has been spent on sporting facilities in Port Pirie, which I think is a really great thing to have happened. Just down Mary Street now, of course, you've got the TAFE College. But further up, you've got the old swimming pool. And it is like a totally different building now. It's like a big sporting facility that's not just for swimming. So we'll just enter the place now. I'll show you. It's no longer called or known as the Port Pirie swimming pool, but it's known as the Port Pirie Aquatic and Leisure Centre, and I think there's like a gymnasium in there and other fitness facilities. Totally different from the past. Another great feature of the city, for sure. Just up ahead you've got the back side of the Port Pirie Memorial Oval Sports Precinct, the big building there. It's very flash. Porperi Bowling Club. So I'll head down the terrace now and we'll go out to the shopping centre, the main shopping centre, which has Kmart. We'll go and have a look at what's changed there. The old tennis courts have been improved as well. Phoenix Park on the left, I think that's been improved quite a bit as well. I never really went in there much, but yeah, it certainly looks like it's been improved. So we'll turn down Grey Terrace. Yeah, so just here you've got KFC, which is one of the places I used to like visiting when I was a young lad. And here is the shopping centre, Coles, BWS, this is another place that's changed quite a lot over the years. It's almost unrecognisable. And up here you've got Kmart on the left. And the My Car Vehicle Service Centre. And Coles Express petrol station that never used to be here. I think there was a lot of debate when that was being built here because there's so many other petrol stations in Port Pirie. So I'll head up to Wandera Road and we'll drive down there for a look. the netball courts, which has been improved, but it hasn't changed a hell of a lot over the years. Port Pirie now has an Aldi supermarket on the left there. In place of what I believe used to be the State Emergency Service building. On the right you've got the ride-on miniature railway at the old railway station, which is now a exhibition centre. So the old railway station is now called, well, it's been like this for a while, but the Port Pirie Regional Tourism and Arts Centre. I might have to go back in here one day and have a bit of a look. And it also has a bus service, I believe. So we'll go back up Wandera Road and I'll show the St. Mark's College. Looks like John Perry School is getting quite a few improvements as well. So we'll continue up Wandera Road. Quite a few new houses being built in Port Pirie. On the right we've got the old GDS BKN TV station. I think it's called Southern Cross Oz Stereo nowadays. On the right, just up ahead, we've got the St Mark's Primary School. Which is recognisable, but also has changed quite a bit over the years. And it's like the primary school and the senior school, or the high school, which is further up, have sort of joined forces and built this massive sporting park in the middle of it all, which is good. And the high school, St Mark's High School, has come along in leaps and bounds, you could say. They've got a trade centre on the left there, trade skills centre. I think they do agriculture studies now, or farming studies. But the whole facility itself, totally different to when I went there. You've got the old oval, and you can see in the distance a massive gymnasium, I think it would be. Gallagher, Bosco, Paulding, McNally. This is from the back entrance into the school. I'd love to walk through there one day, but I don't think that's going to happen. Got the old Tech Studies building in the blue that I used to remember. Another sporting club. The golf course on the left, just up here. And up ahead on the left, we've got the front entrance to the St Mark's High School College. Bosco campus, which is very different nowadays. Totally different. There are some things that remain that I remember. So that just about wraps it up for today. The major things that I wanted to show to people watching this video. As you can see, there are no doubt some minor bad points to Port Pirie, but there is also a lot of really good improvements to the city. As I said earlier in the video, not everyone wants to live in a really big bustling city full of congestion and crime and whatever. And I think a lot of people should perhaps, instead of relying on the bad reputation that I believe is unjustifiable, should maybe visit Port Pirie one day for a weekend, stay here for a weekend and get to know the city, and perhaps your judgment might just change on the city. I still believe it's a great place to live and to visit. So yeah, that about wraps it up. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks a lot. See ya.